this video, we cover the following topics. Underpainting is a method of creating value in a painting. The base color of the underpainting is subsequently glazed or layered over with other colors to create a lovely shading effect. As a technique, underpainting is often used to effectively shade, render values, and imply depth within a work of art. Underpaintings may remain monochromatic as discussed in the previous section, or can be glazed over with various colors. This process separates the element of value from the often confusing element of color. In this way, it simplifies each into more manageable aspects that can be independently controlled. Underpainting and glazing for value are foundational techniques in painting that serve to establish the tonal composition and depth of an artwork before the application of final color layers. Let's answer the question: why is underpainting important? Tonal foundation. Underpainting provides a grayscale roadmap of the painting's values, helping to organize the lights and darks in a scene. This step ensures that the composition has the desired balance and contrast before any color is applied. Depth and volume. By establishing values first, artists can create a sense of three-dimensionality and form. This depth makes the subsequent layers of paint more convincing and lifelike. Harmonizing colors. A value underpainting acts as a unifying layer. Colors applied on top of this layer interact with the grayscale values, leading to a more cohesive and harmonious color scheme. Guidance and correction. It's easier to adjust the composition and correct mistakes in this early stage without the distraction of color. Value adjustments at this point can save time and effort later. Now, let's look at how to use underpainting as a blueprint. Value mapping. Underpainting allows an artist to map out the values, where the lightest lights and darkest darks will be, which helps in managing the composition's overall tonal balance. Visual clarity. With the values laid out, it becomes easier to prioritize compositional elements, leading to a clearer focus and visual path for the viewer's eye. Next, let's look at underpainting for values. Prepare your palette. Choose a monochromatic palette, typically with neutral grays or a warm sepia tone, to paint the initial layer. This layer may contribute an underlying color, but the main purpose is to establish the value. Sketch the composition. Lightly sketch your composition on the painting surface. Identify where the lightest lights and darkest darks will be. Block in major values. Using a large brush, block in the major value shapes. Start with the darkest darks and work towards the lights. You can use a mid-tone to cover most of the surface, then add the darkest values and leave the white of the paper for the lightest areas. Refine the gradient. Smooth out the transitions between different values. The goal is to create a gradient from dark to light, mimicking how light naturally falls on objects. Let it dry. Allow the underpainting to completely dry. This is especially important in watercolor to prevent the subsequent layers of color from blending with the value layer. For getting photographic reference, taking a black and white photograph of your subject can offer a clear value map without color distractions. Try a mindset shift. To do this, train your mind to see colors as values. For instance, perceive a bright red not just for its hue, but for its mid-range value, similar to a certain shade of gray. Here are a few reasons you may choose to underpaint. Enhanced texture. An underpainting can add textural qualities to a painting. For instance, a more textured underpainting can add a sense of age or ruggedness that can show through subsequent layers. Correcting composition early. It's easier to make changes to the composition during the underpainting stage, as colors and forms are not fully developed. Speeds up the painting process. With a roadmap of values and tones, the painting process can be faster since the artist doesn't have to constantly reassess and make decisions about these fundamental elements. Prevent substrate show-through. A solid underpainting can ensure that the white of the paper doesn't show through the final painting, which can detract from the work's visual impact. Provides a mid-tone. There's a dedicated video for each underpainting method. What's covered? 8 kinds of underpainting. How to perform each underpainting method. Applications and benefits. Tips and considerations. See the underpainting chapter to learn more about the different kinds of underpainting. Comprehensive Watercolor, an interactive guide for learning to paint with watercolor, contains over 200 video lessons inside of the book. This enables you to watch, learn, and practice at your own pace. The book includes how to create 2 flip books and a palette card. Together, we explore and test watercolor paint properties. This innovative and practical method of teaching helps you learn watercolor one step at a time, and it covers everything you need to know to be successful with watercolor. My technique-focused method combined with a mix-and-match approach helps watercolorists at any stage of the painting journey improve their ability to paint subjects of their choice. The Ultimate Watercolor Product Guide covers virtually all the gear a watercolorist needs to begin a lifelong journey of watercolor painting and includes recommendations for gear like equipment, materials, supplies, tools, mixed media and more. This free guide accompanies the book, Comprehensive Watercolor, an interactive guide for learning to paint with watercolor. Download your free copy of the Ultimate Watercolor Product Guide today by clicking the link located in the video description below or visiting mandakins.com. Thank you for watching. Tap the archer to subscribe and the bell to be notified when I post new content. To continue your watercolor journey, click a video from one of the playlists above.